Laudetur Jesus Christus, praised be Jesus Christ. Welcome to this live broadcast of Pope Leo XIV's Angelus address this Sunday, the 15th of March. On behalf of all of my colleagues here at the Vatican's Dicastery for Communication, a very warm welcome, whether you are joining us through our Vatican Media app, or via our YouTube channel or Facebook page, or via any local or diocesan radio station, including EWTN Television, Catholic Faith Network in America, Salt and Light Television, Shalom World Television, Atmadarshan Television, Catholic Television, Luminous Radio India, Radio Maria England, and Radio Maria Papua New Guinea. Welcome to you all. And of course, as always, a huge welcome goes to all of you who are joining through our dedicated American Sign Language broadcast, which has been made possible thanks to our friends at Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas. It will be my pleasure to be with you today and to provide you with the English language translation of Pope Leo's words. So in just a few moments, at 12 o'clock Rome time, midday exactly, Pope Leo will be appearing at the window of the Apostolic Palace to greet the pilgrims in the square. And you can hear them waiting anxiously for him to arrive, chanting and singing. At that point, the Pope will give his Catechesis, and I will be providing an English language translation for that. And after his catechesis, he will recite the Marian prayer along with the faithful in the square, and of course along with all of you following from home, if you wish to do so. And after that, he usually greets some of the groups present, and that would also be the moment for any appeals, if there are any. But of course, that all comes later on, and we will see what the Pope has to say. Now the cameras are zooming in onto the window from which the Pope appears, and it should be any moment now as the time approaches noon. And midday and the curtains are opening. And here is Pope Leo.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buona domenica!
Dear brothers and sisters, happy Sunday.
Il Vangelo di questa quarta domenica di Quaresima.
The Gospel reading for the fourth Sunday of Lent narrates the healing of a man blind from birth.
Di questo episodio, l'Evangelista Giovanni ci parla del mistero.
Through the symbolism of this account, John the Evangelist speaks to us of the mystery of salvation. While we were in darkness, while humanity walked in gloom, God sent his Son as the light of the world, to open the eyes of the blind and illuminate our lives.
I profeti avevano annunciato che il Messia avrebbe aperto gli occhi dei ciechi.
The prophets had announced that the Messiah would open the eyes of the blind. Jesus himself confirmed the authenticity of his mission by showing that the blind receive their sight. And he presented himself with the words, "I am the light of the world." Certainly, all of us can say that we are blind from birth, for by ourselves we cannot see the mystery of life in all its depth.
Perciò Dio si è fatto carne in Gesù
That is why God became flesh in Jesus, so that the clay of our humanity, shaped by the breath of His grace, might receive a new light, one capable of helping us to see ourselves, others, and God in truth.
Colpisce il fatto che lungo I secoli si sia diffusa l'opinione presente.
It is striking that over the centuries, the opinion has spread and persists to this day that faith is a kind of leap in the dark, a renunciation of thought, such that having faith would mean believing blindly.
Il Vangelo ci dice invece che a contatto con Cristo gli occhi.
However, the Gospel shows us that through contact with Christ, our eyes are opened. Indeed, the religious authorities ask the healed blind man with insistence, "Then how were your eyes opened?" And again, "How did he open your eyes?"
Fratelli e sorelle, anche noi, guariti dall'amore di Cristo, siamo chiamati a.
Brothers and sisters, we too are healed by the love of Christ and are called to live our faith with open eyes. Faith is not a blind act, a forsaking of reason or a retreat into some sort of religious certainty that causes us to turn our gaze away from the world. On the contrary, faith helps us to see things as Jesus Himself sees them, with His own eyes. It is a participation in His way of seeing. In this sense, faith is an invitation to open our eyes as the Lord did, especially towards the suffering of others and the afflictions of the world. Today, in a particular way, in the face of the many questions of the human heart, as well as the tragic situations of injustice, violence, and suffering that mark our time, it is essential that our faith be alert, attentive, and prophetic. It should likewise open our eyes to the darkness of the world and bring to others the light of the gospel through our commitment to peace, justice, and solidarity. Let us ask the Virgin Mary to intercede for us, so that the light of Christ may open the eyes of our hearts and enable us to bear witness to Him with simplicity and courage.
Angelus Domini nunciavit Mariae.
Et concepit Spiritus Sancto.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini.
Fiat mi secundum verbum tuum.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Et verbum caro factum est.
Habitabit in nobis.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ora pro nobis, Sancta Dei Genitrix.
Digne ficiamur promissionibus Christi.
Oremus. Gratiam Tuam, quesumus Domine, mentibus nostris infunde, ut qui angelo nunciante, Christi Filii Tui incarnationem coniovimus per passionem eius et crucem ad resurrectionis gloriam perducamur, per Christum Dominum nostrum.
Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Pro fidelibus defunctis, Requiem aeternam dona eis Domine,
et lux perpetua lucea Teis.
requiescant in pace.
Amen.
Dominus vobiscum,
Et cum spiritu tuo,
sit nomen Domini benedictum,
ex hoc nunc usque in saeculum,
adiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini.
qui feci caelum et terram.
Benedicat vos, omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
Amen.
Cari fratelli e sorelle,
Dear brothers and sisters,
da 2 settimane i popoli del Medio Oriente
the people of the
soffrono
Middle East
l'atroce
for 2 weeks have been
violenza
suffering the
della guerra.
atrocious violence of war.
Migliaia di persone
Thousands of
innocenti
innocent
sono state
people
uccise
have been killed,
e moltissime altre
and so many more
costrette
have been
ad
forced
abbandonare le proprie case.
to leave their homes.
Rinnovo la mia vicinanza
I renew my
orante
closeness
a tutti coloro
to all
che hanno
those
perso
who
i
have
propri
lost
cari
their
negli
loved
attacchi
ones
che
in
hanno
attacks
colpito
that have
scuole,
struck schools,
ospedali e
hospitals,
centri abitati.
and
È
homes.
motivo di grande preoccupazione la situazione in Libano.
The situation in Lebanon is extremely worrying.
Cammini di dialogo
I hope that paths of
possano
dialogue
sostenere le
may sustain
autorità del
authorities of
paese
the country
nell'implementare
in order
soluzioni
to implement
durature
solutions that are lasting, solutions to the very serious crisis that is currently striking Lebanon. I ask that all men and women of goodwill and referring directly to those responsible for this conflict, I ask for a ceasefire and that paths of dialogue reopen. Violence can never bring justice or stability or peace, all things that the people are waiting for. And now welcome to all of you who are present here in St. Peter's Square.
Saluto I fedeli venuti da Valencia.
Hello to the faithful who have come from Valencia and Barcelona in Spain,
Come pure quelli di Palermo.
as well as those from Palermo in Sicily.
Con gioia accolgo alcuni gruppi di ragazzi che si preparano
It is
a
with joy that I
ricevere il
greet
sacramento della
some
confermazione
young people who are
di
preparing for
Bercetto,
their
diocesi di
confirmation
Parma, di
from
tutto
various
diocesi di
dioceses
Firenze,
in Italy, Parma,
di Torre Maina
Florence,
e Gorzano,
Torre Maina and
diocesi di
Gorzano,
Modena, Nonantola.
Modena.
Saluto inoltre i giovani della
And I greet
parrocchia
the
di
young
San
people
Gregorio
of the
Magno in Roma
parish of San Gregorio Magno
e
in
i
Rome,
ragazzi di Capriano del Colle e
and young
Alzano
people
Mella,
from
diocesi
Alzano
di
Meglia
Brescia.
and Capriano del Colle in the Diocese of Brescia
A
in northern
tutti
Italy.
auguro una buona domenica.
To all of you, I wish a very happy Sunday. And that brings us to an end of this live broadcast of Pope Leo's Angelus address this Sunday, the 15th of March. Whether you joined us through our Vatican media apps or YouTube or Facebook, or through our partner stations including EWTN Television, Catholic Faith Network in America, Salt and Light Television, Shalom World Television, Atmadarshan Television, Catholic Television, Luminous Radio India, Radio Maria England and Radio Maria Papua New Guinea, or whether you joined us through our dedicated American Sign Language broadcast, made possible thanks to our friends at Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas. Thank you for being with us today. And so until next time, Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praise be Jesus Christ.